Hey, you guys remember that every time I poured some epoxy and I had some left over, I poured it into a container? Well, here it is. So, I've got the container out of the bucket and you can see all the multitude of colors. I think it's going to be something pretty. But anyway, I'm going to make a bowl out of it. But what I wanted to show you, I got it out of the container and I put it on a faceplate. Well, it was all crooked. Well, the way I did it, you notice the screws are still loose here. Well, I found the center on the other end and I put it on here with the loose screws and pushed it up there, and it left a gap in there because this one is straight and this one's crooked. So what I did is I filled the gap with really super hot glue, and I don't know if you can see it or not, so I got anything to make a pointer out of. Yeah, here you go. Okay, see right there's a gap right there. And I've got hot glue in there now. This is a big gap from here all the way over to here, which means that, it was sitting like this. So I just put it up there, made it flat, and then filled it with that. I used to use shavings and CA glue, but I've got a hot glue gun. It's a 100-watt gun, and it really heats that glue to super thin, so it'll get way down in there. So anyway, that's where we're at right now. So I'm going to pull this off and tighten the screws up and put it back on, and in a little while, maybe even tomorrow, I'm going to start turning it. Well, the first thing I want to do is come in here and try to clean this end up a little bit. It's got a lot of jagged edges right here, so I have to be pretty careful. Stuff flying there, of course I knew there would be. Yeah, look at that mess, huh? That's okay, don't really care right there. Maybe I'm going to redo this. I don't know. But I got some holes right here. Here, and here. I'm going to go ahead and patch them up. That way I'll give myself a rest. Won't take very much to do it. I'm just going to use some filler dust and thin Starbond CA. So I'll bring you back when I start that. Right now I gotta sit down. Well, I just walked out here this morning and opened everything up. And it's supposed to be up to like 70 degrees today, but look at here. I mean, if you want to see some humidity, can you see that? Right there. Now, that is off the top of my ways on my lathe. Now I'm going to have to clean those real good and put a coat of oil on them here in a minute. As soon as I get done doing a little bit of this. In fact, I think I might do that first. Go ahead and get that out of the way, get a little oil on them to protect it. Otherwise I might be sanding rust. So let me get that done and we'll come back and get back on this project. $27.37. Yeah, I got a lot better, didn't they? Still got some chip out there, but I'll get that in a minute. No, I'm not going to get it in a minute because I'm done for today. Well, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it's storming outside. Anyway, got my circles drawn on this. The inner one, that's going to be my base, and this will be the top ring. Now, as usual, I'm going to try to do this to where I don't have to drill a hole. And what I do, you see this line right here? Once I get the outside cut off, and I want to cut the inside out, I'm going to move to the 1/4 inch, the saw with the 1/4 inch blade, if it'll cut it. If not, I'll have to come back to this one. Excuse me, having trouble with my voice today. But anyway, this line follows the grain, and there was a crack here. So when I get to this one, I'll come here and go around this way to cut the center out. But first, I'm going to just go ahead and cut the outer sides off. Lost my light over there. Guess I need to put a new battery in it. Well, I'm gonna move to the small saw. I really don't think it'll do it, but I'm gonna try it. So I may end up back over here, but on this one, I'm afraid it's a little hard to make that sharper turn. But well, we'll just see. I'll catch you when I get to the other saw. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and glue this one together. Remember I told you I followed the grain, and I'll put wood glue in there and then I'll clamp them together. I'll leave them till tomorrow or whenever I get back out here. So I'm gonna put that real tight. Spin all the way down, turn it on. Not like, spin it real slow for 20-30 minutes. I'm going to give this a shot. So don't be surprised, or maybe you ought to pay attention, because this thing could go all over hell in creation. So I'm going to sort of stand back right about in here, not stand in front of it and cut, so that, you know, if it flies, it flies. So, turn that on, see what I can get out of this thing. I know I can get. I'm at 28 now. 28, 25. Here goes nothing. All right, I just put a burr on my negative rake scraper. I expect it to last about 3 minutes, if that, or 2, and I'll have to do it again. So let's swirl it up. All right, I'm going to hit this with a negative rake scraper again, and then I think I'm parking it for today. much of that's even getting in my mouth. Yeah, you need sealer on this wood part for sure, and it don't hurt the rest of it. It's Minwax water-based sealer. That's all I ever use. Been using it for years. Good enough. Turn it off. Turn you off. Good night. All right, I'm gonna cut some of this down now. That was too easy. All right, I'm just going to drill this one up to the length of the bit, because I'm going to add a whatever it is, 1 inch, maybe more. Here, I have measured it. Yeah, I'm going to add 1.5 inches to the top of it with this. See, so that's going to give me a pretty good sized deep bowl there. So always wear a left glove just in case, so you can hold on to that. Of course I wear gloves all the time anyway. But I'll turn about probably 300 or so. In case some of y'all were wondering what this was that I put in here, I always use this when I do this. It's nothing but it's a Jacob's chuck on a live center, and that's a cut-off drill bit, and that's just a safety deal in case it breaks and pops off here. You know, this is going to catch it, and it's not going to fly somewhere, mainly, but me. So. You know, it keeps from coming off this way or that way, so it's pretty safe. I have broke one though, because there ain't right in here, there ain't a hole right here somewhere. Ain't a whole lot holding them, so I had to buy a new one. It wasn't repairable. Let me get this out of here. Yep, I'm going to try to turn this center out right here. All right, I'm getting ready to epoxy this. Got to throw these out of water, warm water. This is the Devcron 2-ton epoxy. Like I said, it costs a little more, but I think it's probably a lot stronger. All right, guys, see you tomorrow. We'll get the rest of it, we'll get it turned, and maybe a wrap tomorrow. All right, I'm gonna try to wrap up this inside here. This thing has not been no fun turn, but we're getting there. That was Minwax sanding sealer. All right, now what I'll have to do is let that dry real good, and because it's water based, it's going to raise the grain of that wood. So I'll have to hit it with 320 and then put another coat or two on it, and maybe some poly, and polish it up with some axe paste, and we'll have a bowl. All right, there you go. So I'm going to use axe paste on it first. This is actually sort of sanding it real super fine, probably a couple thousand. You can hear it. All right, let's see what we got here. Ooh, yeah, that's just the paste, no wax. Isn't that pretty? Well, I'm finally done with it. It was an undertaking because some of this epoxy in here was like months old, you know. It wasn't just a few days, it was like months, and maybe even some of it close to a year, especially down here in the bottom. Went ahead and dropped a few gumballs in there. I thought that might give it some character. I think it turned out all right. I wouldn't call it my finest work, but it turned out pretty nice. This red oak up here is really pretty. It'd be a good one to put like your change in, maybe like in a kid's room, because it's got all the colors in it. And of course I've got my laser burned logo in the bottom. So there you are. Well, I'm sorry it takes me so long to do a video, but that's, you know, that's just the way it is. My back injury hasn't healed very much yet. And about 10 minutes of standing up, and I got to sit down for 10 minutes, so it takes me forever. Plus it's the winter, and it takes so long to heat the shop up that I just don't, most days I don't mess with it, to be perfectly honest. But I'm going to try to get more back in the saddle here. I've got some projects lined up. I really appreciate you guys bearing with me. I really need a lot more views, because I've already lost one sponsor. I've lost Total Boat. They, you know, and I can't blame them. I'm just not getting the views, you know, so they're not getting much advertising. You know, if I was in the business, I'd do the same thing. No big deal anyway. If I want some epoxy, I can afford to buy it if I need to. There you go. I'll put a few pictures at the end of it, and we'll call this done. And I appreciate you. Subscribe if you haven't. If you know somebody that's interested in wood turning, I've got this ton of videos. I think this will be number 280. So subscribe, like I said, and so forth. And guess what? You need to call your mama. Catch you later.